Like, of course, Andrew might get one or two things, but I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. Are you still gonna keep the clock? No, you're not. So just because Andrew Tate might say, take care of your wife, but then in the next breath will say, but if you're not married, run through as many girls as you can. It's like, no. All right, thanks for watching Power to the Pod, where we are committed to an intellectual integrity and a moral honesty. Now, in today's video, we're here to talk about our best friend. Yes, you and I best friend, Ben Shapiro. Okay, now, I'm pretty sure you guys heard of Andrew Tate and the crazy things he's said and, you know, all the flaunting he's done and, you know, his recent arrest with maybe sex trafficking and abuse and all this crazy other things, which I'm not really into the whole gossip thing like that. Like Andrew Tate, that's a whole different genre. I'm not even worried about what he says and none of that nature. But to me, it's just weird when someone tries to take, you know, because I've heard some of the crazy things he's said and I laughed. I chuckled. That's all I gave it, because it's funny. It's like a normal human being doesn't think this, but he's a person. He's an internet personality. He gets paid to, you know, to be the crazy guy on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Oddly enough, people get paid to just be a clown on the internet. But it's just weird to me that Ben Shapiro wants to somehow, some way, flip it down, twist it around, flip flop this, and blame the left, blame Democrats. And I'm sitting here thinking, Ben has to be the best at this. Is no way that I could take, and I spend days thinking about this kind of content. I couldn't think hard enough to take someone like Andrew Tate and flip it and say this is the Republicans' fault. It's the Republicans' fault on why someone like Andrew Tate can prosper off of the toxic stuff that he says, that he spews online. Because one, I have to be somewhat disingenuous, because Andrew Tate is a grown man. He makes his own decisions. And if people are listening and actually taking advice from this guy, that's their doing. And they got to be somewhat stupid or too young to understand. That's my thought. But let's listen to Ben Shapiro twisting this and blaming it on the left.
And so we're going to look at some of the things Andrew Tate says, because, again, he's a very popular figure, particularly with young men. And when people ask me about Tate, one of the things that I've said this to some teenage boys who are friends of the family. Mm-hmm. They asked me about him, like, I don't know, a week ago. What I said is some of the diagnoses that Andrew Tate has of secular society are correct. His prescriptions are largely incorrect. And the things that he puts, he has a list of rules. And many of the rules that he puts online are actually pretty good. And then the way that he acts, right? His version of masculinity, which is have a bunch of kids by a bunch of different women, live in a castle with 30 Bugattis, right? Put pictures online and muscle put, like this kind of stuff. That's not the traditional mark of masculinity. What Pope Benedict XVI would say, what I would say, what sort of members of the traditional wisdom cadre would say, is that the ultimate in manliness is get married, protect your family, provide for your kids and your family, provide a space for them to grow in safety and security, provide them roles and responsibilities. This is the role of a man. This is what a man.
Okay, now, just right off the bat, before we get in, one thing that he continuously does in this clip here is that he will say what Andrew Tate would say, and kind of he'll soften up a little bit, because trust me, Andrew Tate will say exactly what he's saying, but way more explicit. Okay, but then he'll try to like mush in what he believes that Andrew Tate is saying to make it sound more like understandable and more PG. You know, I'm like, oh no, we can all agree. It's like, no. Like, of course, Andrew might get one or two things, but I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day. Are you still going to keep the clock? No, you're not. So just because Andrew Tate might say, take care of your wife, but then in the next breath will say, but if you're not married, run through as many girls as you can. It's like, no. That sounds irresponsible as hell. But let's go ahead and listen.
Does. What Andrew Tate focuses mainly on is the critique of how society has undermined a lot of this stuff. And then his prescription is, I'm going to put a picture of myself online with like 30 cars, and it makes me look cool, makes me look masculine. Hey, I also like cool cars. Cool cars are amazing. But because we have lost eternal truth, because we have decided as a society the eternal truth has to go, the backlash is not coming in the form of a restoration of eternal truth. Very often the backlash is coming in the form of punch the people in the face who destroyed the eternal truth. That's the society in which we're living. And I'm afraid that could get worse unless what we actually have is a return to some eternal truth. So here's a couple of clips of Andrew Tate, and it kind of shows you what I'm talking about, that some of what he's saying is kind of half correct, but he's saying it in such a way that is meant to draw fire. So here is Andrew Tate talking.
That is meant to draw fire. Okay, I guess. Okay.
About women belonging to men.
I don't know, because I think the women belong to the man. I think the woman's given over to
that's
the
inherently
man.
where you get called sexist.
No, it's not. Well, you can call me sexist if you want, but if you look at marriage, it's the bride's father who gives her away. It's not the groom's father.
In
Is
old
it?
tradition.
The woman is always given over to the man. Read the Bible, read the Quran, you can go to
You're walking down the aisle, no chance. There's like African cultures where they don't do that.
I'm sure there are some obscure tribes somewhere. I mean, I can't say I'm not a professional.
But you get it. You seem like a very smart guy.
Understand
you
why
seem like a
people would
smart
say
guy.
that.
You're saying a woman is the property of a man if they're dating.
I'm not saying they're appropriate. I'm saying they're given to the man and they belong to the man. It doesn't mean they're a pure property without emotion.
Okay. Let's see how Ben is going to flip-flop this into a way. It's like, yeah, that's what we all should be thinking and believing.
Okay, so notice the contrast here. So Portnoy is so afraid of saying that a woman and a man belong together, and that a woman, when she gets married, now belongs to the man sexually in the same way that the man ought to belong to the woman sexually. This is literally
No, Ben. See now this is where it feels like you either don't know Andrew Tate or you just don't want to broadcast exactly what I've heard Andrew Tate talk. He believes there's no equal in marriage to him. The woman has her role, the man has his role. The woman is to stay faithful by any means necessary. You stay in the house, you damn near don't have no life. You do what the man says. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The man, on the other hand, can do whatever the hell he wants. And if he wants to sleep with other women, that's what he wants to do. Because to Andrew Tate, and this is his perspective in a nutshell. I'm paraphrasing here. A woman sleeping with other guys, but having a boyfriend or a husband, that's evil. That's dirty because she is emotional with it. So that's where the discrepancy is. But if a man sleeps out and he has a girlfriend or he has a wife, there's no emotion involved. So he can sleep with as many women as he wants, and is no emotional connection to it. So it's like, yeah, that's it. No. Now, if that works for your marriage, cool. Like I'm not gonna tell nobody how they should be married, but I would never use someone as Andrew Tate and what he spouses out and use that as to reinforce my belief in marriage. A man belongs to, just like Ben said, a man belongs to his wife, a wife belongs to her husband. Andrew Tate does not believe that. Why has Ben trying to soften up and water what Andrew Tate is saying? No, come on, Ben.
literally Genesis 2:24. Right? For this reason, a man will leave his father and his mother and be united to his wife, and they will become one flesh. And Genesis 2:24. So that would be the eternal truth. But that is the truth according to every mainstream religion. That would be the thing that you would say. And the reason for that, from an evolutionary biology perspective, is because when a woman joins with a man and they create a baby, the woman is sure of her parentage, but the man is not sure of his parentage. And so we as a society tend to prefer monogamy, right? This is the evolutionary biological reason why humanity embraced monogamy, is because it is the best distribution of sexual resources. And it's from an evolutionary biological perspective, not a moral perspective. That's just evolutionary biology. Brett Weinstein, Heather Heyer talk about it. Right? Heather Heying talk about it. Right? All of this is very well established. When it comes to the morality is that a woman should not be promiscuous, and a man should also not be promiscuous. Now, this is the part where Andrew Tate gets the diagnosis.
But that's what he does not believe that. He does not believe a man should be faithful to his lady if he doesn't want to. I refreshed my understanding of Andrew Tate today. I watched probably 40 minutes of him talking, and no. Now he said, now to be fair, he was like, I would treat my woman with respect and this, and I would protect her. But then, like I said, in the same breath, he'd be like, but she better not go to the club, and I could do what I want because I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? I provide this, I do what I work in this, and you just stay at home. It's like, wait, so you don't have to be faithful, but your woman, like, if that's how you want to live your life, cool. But don't preach that and speak it as everybody else should be doing this, and if they're not, they're incorrect. Nah. Don't think so. Come on, Ben. Come on.
Right, but he gets the solution wrong. So here is Andrew Tate talking about how women should not be promiscuous. It's bad for them.
Well, a woman could say that same thing if she decided. She could say, I can sleep with multiple men, but my men can't sleep with multiple women if she so chooses. We're all free individuals, right?
Yeah, but you wouldn't agree if a woman said that.
I don't think I would personally find that revolting, correct? But there are women who find what I say revolting.
So you're not telling other people what to think. You're just saying how you think.
Yeah, I mean, if I think if a man is not sexually exclusive, it's not the same as if a woman is, because
okay, first off, it's not. I could understand if it's just your opinion and you're not trying to preach it to everybody. Cool, but that's literally how he's making his money. That's how he's building his brand, is being an influencer, a teacher, somebody to help build up young men. That's what he is known for. So there's no, that's just your personal opinion and you're not trying to. It's like, that's what he's famous for. He's not famous for anything else. So it's like, that's just weird to me. Like, oh no, that's just my personal opinion, but my whole brand and company is me teaching and advising young men on how to grow up and be successful men. And one of the things that I teach is for men to sleep with as many women as possible. But yet, when you find a woman to settle down with, she better be one. He said he likes young women because they haven't had as much partners. So it's like, that's a little weird. Like, but you want men to sleep with as many women as possible. Like I said, this is not my territory because it hurts my brain just trying to make that make sense, to try to square that circle. It's like, but Ben, you want to defend this guy? Really? Come on, bro. You could do better.
With a woman, you have the paternity issue. With a man, you don't have a paternity issue. Look, read the Bible. Every single man had multiple wives. Not a single woman had multiple husbands. It's against the will of God. It's disgusting. In the eyes of God himself.
Okay, so again, historically speaking, what Andrew Tate is saying is not wrong. Morally, the reason why church, where we talked about the capacity for change within eternal rules, moves towards monogamy as opposed to polygyny, right, where a man has multiple wives, the reason for that is because the sophisticated arrangement of one man and one woman is the best arrangement. And so it is not good when a woman is promiscuous, and also happens not to be good when a man is promiscuous. Those may not be equivalent in evolutionary biological terms, but that is why eternal morality suggests one man, one woman. So the point that I'm making here is that when the moorings of a society come loose, when the society starts to sort of float, when the iceberg is floating, is no longer moored to anything that keeps it stable. Once that happens, the reactions tend to be extremely chaotic. You get an entire movement on the left that is incredibly
There it
destructive,
is.
and you get a reactive movement
That's what.
that gets a lot of the diagnosis right, but a lot of the diagnosis wrong, right? It gets a lot of the diagnosis right and a lot of prescription wrong.
So the left can get get everything right. If anything, they're creating the problem. And the right, they get some things right and they get some things wrong. You know, we're 50-50 on the subject. Really been okay. Listen. Check this out. The left is not perfect. Is not perfect. Okay, let's go ahead and get that out the way. So when I speak, I'm not speaking like being like, oh, the left is, you know, just well and they get most of the things right. Like, no. But one thing that we all can agree is that the left always, if not more than likely, will champion for people's rights, gay rights, women's rights. I really don't know what policies the left champions for equal rights. When it comes to abortion, it is the woman's choice. It is her right. That's not hard to understand. So that creates people like Andrew Tate. You mad about that to where you feel like you need to defend people like Andrew Tate? Women's equality. How is that such a bad thing? And I'm fairly young, but it just seems like when women are always trying to fight for more equality when it comes to, you know, in the workplace, at home, or just being able to say, you know what, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to be someone's housewife. I want to be out there making as much money as I can, out there traveling the world, out there sleeping with whoever and how many ever I want, because it's my choice. Mostly people on the right, look at that and say, that's not right. That's not your position. Your position is supposed to be at home having kids. That's all you're really good for. But then when the left saying like, nah, equal rights for everybody, people on the left like Ben Shapiro don't like that. And it always has me thinking like, do they hate women? Do they hate women enough to want to defend people like Andrew Tate just to kind of prove their point? And they always want to bring up the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the Old Testament this and the Old Testament that. Bro, if you first off, you can't cherry pick, especially the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? If we were to live by the Old Testament, ain't none of us gonna make it. Ain't none of us gonna make it a couple minutes. So don't sit here and try to preach the Old Testament, Ben. It doesn't work like that. You can't say, oh, this right here we need to be practicing. But I mean, let's forget it's hundreds of commandments. People want to complain about the 10 commandments and how that's doing a little too much. The Old Testament has hundreds of commandments that I'm pretty sure we're breaking on a day-to-day basis. So it's just sad to me. I'm thinking that Ben Shapiro is running out of content if he feels that he needs to make a video defending Andrew Tate, flipping it and blaming it on the Democrats. To me, that's disingenuous on so many levels.
Thank you for listening, and don't forget to join the conversation by subscribing. Make sure to tune in next time, and like always, power to you, power to me, power to the people, power to the pod.